Hello everybody, Flik here, and welcome to a Let's Look At of Grim Dawn. This is a Diablo-like available via the Early Access program on Steam. There will be a link in the description box below for you to check it out for yourself. It currently has all of Act 1, and as of February this year also has Act 2 added to it now. However, keep in mind everything you are seeing here is not the finished product. It is in a state of flux, it's a work in progress, etc. Although what is here is, it feels very well done for a 7-man indie dev studio. I have been playing for about an hour, although I am going to make a new character if it lets me. That's my existing character. I got to level 9. That took me, as I was saying, just over an hour, like say an hour and 20 minutes. But we're going to go to create instead, and we're going to create a character called Flik 2 Flik Harder. Oh, I won't fit in. Okay, just Flik 2 then. And then we'll go to create, and we'll try a different class if possible. Ah yes, you don't get to pick your class until you do a little bit of tutorial. You also can't customise how you look, which is a bit of a shame, but still, other than male or female, obviously. We'll jump in, and it shouldn't take too long to load. The loads have actually been pretty decent in the game. It runs very smoothly. That's one of the first compliments I'll give it. I've had no issues with it at all. Even with setting up my recording, it seems to have been perfectly fine. There we go. There's no voice acting, so you do have to do some reading. But we start under a hangman's noose here. We were about to be hung because we were possessed, but the spirit possessing us left at the last second and has left us with some special powers, and they decided, well, maybe we shouldn't hang this guy because there's a reason we want to keep him alive. So this is our hangman, who's less than pleased by the fact that we are no longer going to be strung up. I'll just fast forward this. He's telling us to go find the captain, and we'll get started now. You might be able to tell straight away, the visuals of the game, very impressive, I think. Pretty damn good. And when you see combat, you'll probably agree with me that as far as visceral combat goes, it is on par with Diablo 3 in my opinion. And I will probably be making a lot of comparisons to Diablo 3, and much like the recent Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing 2 that I covered, I will also be drawing similarities and comparisons to Path of Exile, because that is the standard by which I feel I need to compare them, because Path of Exile is an exceptionally good Diablo-like and is entirely free. It also has no real pay-to-win mechanics in my opinion. Most of their in-game store purchases are all cosmetic, so I feel like they've struck a perfect balance. But anyway, I came over here to show you that there's a bridge, but we can't actually get across the bridge unless you go over here. If you collect some items, you can actually pay. I don't know what happens when you repair this bridge, if it just gives you access to a harder area, or maybe that's where Act 2 takes place, or maybe it's a bonus side thing. I have no idea. I haven't managed to collect that many resources. But we'll go over here and we'll have a little conversation with the captain in order to be able to pick our class. Oh yes, we do also have the tutorial here. I'll just get rid of that. So he wants to, basically, he's saying, right, I spared your life, there might be something wrong with you, but I want you to go find out why undead are rising and put a stop to whoever's causing it. Because, you know, it's always undead. Also, I just realised, look up there in the top corner, there's people breaking in. I better go have a look at that. You're not going to take those items? No, I will then. Shiv of the Owl. A yellow, and I didn't even kill the thing that dropped it. Alright, it's better than what I'm using, so yoink, I guess. Into a cave under the burial hill. How did I get to pick my class again? I can't remember. Oh, you need to get a first level, I think. You can also just have a conversation with some of the NPCs here. It's all very generic text, so in honesty I'm not going to stop and read it. This is your basic town portal. They call it rifts in this. They function as you would expect. There's no... You don't have a companion to send back a la Torchlight, for example, but you can just open up a portal whenever you want, a la Path of Exile. And we'll get into a bit of combat here in the lower crossing with some zombies. And you should hopefully get to see some very enjoyable ragdolling and also visceral combat as we kill a few of these guys to get a level. So it's very bloody, it's very gory, and I love it. I think this does visceral combat better than Path of Exile, on par with Diablo 3, and that's one of the few things I liked about Diablo 3 eventually. They did the feeling of in-your-face combat very well in my opinion, and Grim Dawn is doing an excellent job of that so far too. So I don't suppose I need to explain it, but the red bar is obviously the enemy's health, the green bar below is their ether, and there is, or aether, I can never remember the correct way to say it. They're MP. They're magic. And there are some enemies that use and that's just telling me I picked up a potion. It's telling me how to use them. There's some more zombies over here. I hope I've not accidentally skipped the step of class picking, because I don't want to stick with melee again. I want to try something different. I tried melee for my first choice. Enemies do fight with each other. These enemies were, what are they called? Bonebacks were fighting with the zombies there. And there is also destroyable scenery in order to break into some places, so we're going to break into here and see what we can find. More zombies! Lots more zombies. Now, killing these should level me, and we'll get to see. Oh wait, no, I forgot the bar was there. We've got a ways to go yet. Maybe about 5 more zombies. I'll take those. If you don't have anything equipped in a slot that you pick up a bit of equipment for, it automatically equips it, which is a nice feature. And we'll very quickly... Oh, some more bonebacks. Fine, they'll do. Privy. I'm not entirely sure why that's there. Who would put a privy right next to the water? That's not a good idea. But anyway. You can also bring up a big map, by the way, in case you were thinking that the small one was a bit cramped. You can also see a legend of what appears on it, quest icons, etc. Although we do only have the one quest so far. There is side quests and whatnot, everything you would expect. Optional areas to visit. Wow, what the hell happened in here? There's blood everywhere. Well, some of it is a carpet, but still, there is still blood everywhere. I guess we can examine this corpse. He dropped some iron bits, which I believe are the currency. He dropped a blunderbuss, and he also dropped a note. So if we wanted, we can read this, and that actually gave us enough XP to level up. So if you want to read this note, there he is. He's basically just talking about, I think he took his own life because he was trapped and the zombies were coming to get him from memory. I do read them off camera, honestly. So now if we open up, yes, our class, right. So I was trying soldier class, which they describe as they're trained to survive, they have lots of health, they have a shield, etc. There's also demonologist, is that right? No, demolitionist. Demolitionist. Yeah, that's what that says. I thought it was demonologist. My bad. Pyrotechnic Masters of the Imperial Army. Demolitionist. I'm a moron. My bad. Demolitionists are part engineer, part sorcerer. They were used to break enemy ranks and breach fortifications with their devastating array of explosives and destructive magic. They usually prefer to fight at range, engaging enemies with guns, traps, explosives, but they also can be proficient with melee weapons. That's the class I'm going to try for this video, but we'll go see what the other ones are. So we've got Occultist. Once hunted by Imperial forces in an effort to control Eldritch power, the Occultist's God, what is wrong with my reading today? Occultist's craft focuses heavily on summoning and hallowed powers granted by 3 witch gods, Basil, Suel and Dreg. Their diverse arts include abhorrent curses and spells that inflict damage with poison, acid, entropic energy. Excelling with neither sword or gun, they can use either to augment their offense. And then Nightblade, that's your basic assassin class. Clandestine warriors sold their services to the great houses of the Empire. Nightblades excel with all manner of martial weapons, but are even more feared for the deadly blade magic. That is the secret of their trade. That sounds like quite a fun class as well, actually. Nightblades are not suited to go hit toe-to-toe with tougher enemies and rely on illusion to close for quick, devastating attacks or fight from a distance with phantasmal blades. We're going to try Demolishist. No, I said it wrong again. Demolitionist. Jesus. I don't know why I have Demonologist stuck in my head. There must be a reason. Maybe it's because of Van Helsing. Anyway, you get 3 skill points to use per level. The circular ones are passives. The square-shaped ones are actives. But we have to put at least 1 point in to get this first bar. So what can I buy? I can buy Fire Strike, Stun Jacks, and Flashbang. Alchemical technique causes martial attacks to combust the air around the enemy. That sounds good. Let's get 1 bar of that. And let's get 1 bar of that. And that shoots up all my points. You do also then get an attribute point. You can put into your physique, your cunning, or your spirit. That's basically your health, your damage with ranged attacks, and then also your energy. So we'll do damage with ranged attacks because I'm playing as a ranged class now, kind of, and we'll equip a gun. We'll do an alternative setup where I have a sword, I suppose. And we can hold shift and fire it, I believe. We totally can, and we'll set that new ability I got down here. It costs energy to fire. Right, let's test it. Ah, you can spam it if you want. Excellent. So I could actually use that as an alternative to my basic attack, I suppose. But let's see. Let's move on, find some zombies, test some skills. Let's take you out from here. So that does 16, or 19. Let's test what the flame one does next. So let me see if I can find another enemy here. Ah, there's one right there. I saw you. I know you're there. Yeah, it does more damage. I think it has a chance to catch fire as well. It does 3 fire damage on top. It does 5% more base. Considering how fast my energy is regenning, actually, that's probably just going to be fine as a basic attack. So I'll just put it on my left click as well. The only problem will be if I run into anything that's strong to fire, I suppose. So by now I'm sure you've seen that this is basic. This is what I would describe as your typical Diablo-like affair. You explore an area, you kill all the enemies, you level up, you find gear. You have to definitely have that feeling of wanting to find better and better gear. You want to find the yellow stuff, you want to wear the gear that's best for your build. There's optional bosses, quest bosses, etc. So I can't say very much beyond that because it is by the numbers. That's almost a negative. In fact, I would say that's potentially a negative, although sometimes things work so well that you don't want to change them. So I'll leave that to you to decide, but that's whether it be a compliment or a negative to say that this does a Diablo-like by the books. That is what I would say about Grim Dawn. Now, I was also saying most recently in my look at Van Helsing that Diablo-likes are right up my alley. I like them a lot. The gameplay suits me. So I felt the same way about Grim Dawn. I've enjoyed playing it. I've actually enjoyed it more than Van Helsing. And then I was kind of asking myself before recording, well, have I enjoyed it more than my time with Path of Exile? Path of Exile had this pseudo MMO mechanic where when you were in the towns you could see a bunch of other players running around. I wouldn't say that's exactly a feature that I liked. This is co-op and multiplayer. So as a more personal experience between you and your friends, I think Grim Dawn has probably done that better. I didn't understand the point to the almost MMO atmosphere of the towns in Path of Exile, so I'm glad they didn't go that route. And once again, this is all made by a studio of 7 people. That's pretty stellar. It was only added to Steam on November last year as well. And they are working on it at a fairly steady pace, given that in February they got the second act out. Presumably there's going to be 4 or 5 acts, although I'm not stating that as fact, I'm not sure. We've got another level there, so we'll hopefully buy another skill to try out. Resilient plating, is that a... Oh, that's a buff. Good, I can talk about that once I pick it up. After I burn these zombies. Right, so we'll pick that up. Oh, or I could just read out the components tutorial, I suppose, but components are just what you add to weapons to make them better. Some are meant for offensive weapons, some of them are meant for your armour. This one we picked up adds 2 armour and 2% pierce resistance, so it's meant for a bit of actual gear. That's not a good cap. That's not exactly a great belt, but I'm not wearing one, so why can't I equip that? Do I need a... Oh, I don't have enough... something. What do I not have enough of? Required physique? No. Oh, it's not a belt, that's why. It's a blooming headband. It's a weird looking headband. Anyway, so I could add that to my shield, for example. So there we go, I now have a better shield. I'm not 100% sure if there's a way to remove components after you're done. Oh yeah, and I do have a point to spend, of course. I'll put it into cunning again. We'll bring up the skill menu. Did I not add that? I did have that. I should have had stun jacks on. What is this ability? That's flashbang. Let's just put a base point in. And again. And again. If I use one more at my next level up, it will give me access to Blackwater Cocktail and Blast Shield. Which sounds interesting. So the Demolicious has a mixture of steampunk-esque equipment, fire bombs, grenades, etc. But they also do have a little bit of pyromancy, which I like. I'd say the melee build so far is far more my style, but yeah, it's not too bad. Another minor negative, if I was trying to balance things out here, is I don't find any of the armour that I've found so far on my other character to be appealing. I mean, maybe they're going for the farmer look, I guess, but I don't feel tough. I don't feel like my class has any particular kind of individuality, at least early on, because you start in the same gear regardless and you find all the same gear and it has no class specific bonuses to warrant switching. Eventually, or well, I don't know about later, much later in the game, but as far as I've gotten with my other character, I've certainly started finding very specific mage gear, but I haven't found anything that just kind of screamed this is for the soldier type or this is for the demolitionist. Is that another... Yeah, it's the exact same buff. I'm getting lucky with those. And there's a lot of zombies out there, so I'm going to go deal with them before they flood in the door. Ah! Doesn't seem to do much damage, but stuns them. Good. So if they get too close... Oh, there was a secondary explosion there as well. Novice Tunic might actually be a mage specific bit of gear. And leather pants, they don't go wrong, right? Yeah, they're better. Oh yeah, sure enough, that is a mage specific bit of gear, so I kind of stand corrected. Maybe I just got unlucky on my other character. Although, as I was saying, it's not so much that there's not a distinction between mage gear and melee gear, it's more that the melee and ranged gear seems to be interchangeable. And we got a bit more lore here for our character. They stay in your inventory until you choose to read them with right click. I'm just going to switch through them. Oh, hello zombie. Ah, I don't need an enemy there to throw them, so I can set traps. Nice. And I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover with Grim Dawn so far, really. I'm enjoying it. It is a work in progress, so that has to be something you consider when you're trying to levy any complaints or compliments at it, that all those things are subject to change. I think I'm going to try and keep an eye on it, and play on, maybe see to the end of the current build. I'm curious where it goes. Having zombies as the first enemy you run into and undead in general is very, very cliche, but I don't begrudge them for that. It's a trope, but it's a popular one, so I can't really say that's a bad thing. I like killing zombies, so I'm glad that there's zombies here. They're a very nice first enemy to run into. The enemy design later on, some of the other races that I've had to fight, not bad, just not bad. I wouldn't say amazing. There's no amazing character design in this, is a negative I feel is justified mentioning. Well, if I head up here enough, we will see something other than zombies, I think. So I'll push on a little bit, maybe. We're not going to get to any kind of boss, unfortunately. The bosses are pretty impressive, to be fair. We're also going to get another level soon as well. And more leather pants, because you can't have enough leather pants, apparently. We should also start running into harder tiers of undead. Oh, there's a rift portal, so I can go back now if I wanted to sell stuff, for example. You can also transfer gear amongst characters, although I don't know if I have access to that yet. Let me just go back and check. Right. Do I have access to this door yet? No, I do not. Nope, you must have to do the first. You must have to finish Waking to Misery before the captain will let you in, although we do have a follow-up, a side quest here. He wants you to kill specifically rotten soldiers, which are a higher tier of zombie that we'll start running into. And I guess that's all that's in the game currently, all these little checkpoints, so maybe an unseen act will take part over here, and maybe another one here, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Either way, there's a lot of areas to visit, and it does look like there's some variety. It looks like this is a desert type area, and maybe it becomes a bit more arid over this way, I'm not sure. But either way, there is lots of areas to explore, and of course we're in the swamp now after we kind of get past Lower Crossing, which is the area I'm currently exploring on my other character. So we'll get one more level here. I'll see if I can get another ability just to try it out. And I will say once again that this has been Grim Dawn by Crate Entertainment. It is in early access, and buying your way into early access is $20.99. That obviously gives you the full game once it's released as well. Ow, that Aether Crystal actually hurts because it's level 5. Oh god, there's tons of them. I've never seen what happens when you die. And that's also a lot of zombies. If you destroy the crystal, it kills all the zombies nearby, a bit like the Queen Bees in Dead Rising. Stun them. Oh yeah, they are a bit too high. I think I maybe pushed on a bit too far. Still, let's see if we can get a level out of these guys. And now, as I was saying before I distracted myself with getting myself in a bit of a spot of bother, it's $20.99, that's in British pounds, not dollars, so it is a fairly expensive ask for a game that's not finished. And you do have to consider that. Oh, it spawns more. Well, I should be okay. There we go. And we'll take that. Your health and energy regen out of combat mega quick. I guess that's on purpose to keep the action flowing at a steady pace, which I like. And there we go, took out most of the zombies when it exploded. Ow. Oh, that's where we want to go, down there in the cave entrance. Freeze. Right, okay, we'll do one more level up then, because I did level up during that fight. So if we press S for this menu, we can... Oh, we only need one more point, excellent. So that means I'm getting hit. Give me a second here. I think I'm getting hit. Yeah, I am. Also, I must have pressed the button for changing weapon. Yes, I did. Whoops. Right, as I was saying, you can buy Blast Shield, absorbing a fixed amount of pierce and fire damage before collapsing. Right, so that's basically like it's a fire shield. And Blackwater Cocktail. It does lots of burn damage. I'll take that. I'll take one of each actually, just so we can try it. And then I'll go to my stats and do one in physique to get some more HP. We'll get rid of the caltrops, they're not amazing. We'll try Blast Shield quickly, because that's just a passive, right? Yep, it's just going to absorb a bit of damage before dissipating, and then we'll find some enemies to throw a Blackwater Cocktail at. That must be this game's equivalent of a Molotov. Oh, zombies! Is there any zombies here that want to get exploded? By a demonologist? That's right, I called it demonologist. I don't even care if it's demolitionist. Where are... I could have thrown them at them, mind you, but I thought they were actually strong against fire. Right, let's try this. Oh, it is actually a proper grenade more so than a Molotov, because that took a few seconds to explode. Does it leave a burn that damages... It does! Oh, I like that. I like the burny. Oh, we're in the old dump. I can't remember if I found this area on my other character. It might be a random chance area to stumble upon. Maybe not, I can't remember. But anyway, I've run out of things to say about Grim Dawn. I do enjoy it. My opinion is that it's one to watch. Maybe not necessarily to buy into yet if you're at all on the fence. But if you do actually want to support a game that you're liking what's there so far, then by all means consider buying into early access, because you're helping the developer get the rest of it out there. It's okay. I enjoyed it more than Van Helsing for sure. I still really haven't definitively answered whether I like it more than Path of Exile, and I can't answer that. I'm not sure. I don't think it's a fair time to judge because it's early access. But I will say that I do still thoroughly enjoy Path of Exile, and it would take a very special game to overtake it, especially if said game costs money rather than Path of Exile, which is of course free. Oh, it's a eyeball from Dungeons & Dragons. Fantastic. And as I zone into this cave to carry on my mission as this pyromaniac of mine, I will say thank you for watching. If you are not necessarily interested in the game, please consider at least sharing the video with people who maybe, that you know, if the source of the dead is near. Oh, we might actually get a quick look at the boss, in fact, if he's right next to me. Usually I had to push through the cave quite a bit to find him last time. Oh, there's also burning zombies, so they might be very resistant to basically everything I have. Also, the rotten soldiers are taking a beating. Oh, I like that. Yeah, you're taking less damage. Also, I'm about to die, so I'm going to very quickly use a health. Couldn't find the quick bar on my keyboard, so I just pressed it on the GUI. You're distracting me, damn it! I was finishing! I thought everything was over. Oh, they're constantly respawning because of the damn ether crystal. So let's get rid of that. There we go, I barely survived. And there he goes. Right, I survived. My health should ultra quick regen. Excellent. Right, is the boss here to give you a quick look at him? I don't see him. Where are you? No, I'm sorry, I may not be able to show you because I might have to push it. Let's just run past all the enemies so I can show you. There he is! Right there. Clearly I'm not ready for this fight because there's no way I'm taking on this many zombies. Still, that was your look at Grim Dawn. I hope you had fun regardless, and as I was saying, please feel free to share the video with anyone you know who might be into this kind of game, or if you just want to show your support for the developers in a free way, thumb up the video or leave a comment. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to go now. I'm running from a horde of zombies. It's going to come from the right any second now. My name has been Flik. Thank you for watching. Ta-ta for now.